Hey, think of it. It's a balmy January afternoon. 14-year-old me has just finished adding up all the Christmas tips from my paper route. I did great. I earned 15 months worth of profit for 12 months worth of work. Everyone told me that was my reward for great customer service. And for 25 years, I believed that. Then one day later, my parents ran into one of my old customers. They still remembered me and they got talking. And it turns out it wasn't great customer service. They expected great customer service. It was their dogs. See, I like dogs, and I got to know all the neighborhood dogs really well. And the dogs all looked forward to seeing me. They got excited when they saw me coming. Now, you have to understand these weren't ordinary pets. Many of these dogs were surrogate grandchildren. And I treated those dogs as full members of their families. That's why I was rewarded. Your clients are no different. Little things matter, often things that we don't notice or don't think are important. When you figure out what the dogs are for your clients, they will buy faster, they will pay you more, and they will refer you more often. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to share 3 action steps that will clarify your value and transform your law firm. If you were here yesterday, you heard some great tips from Steve Fretzen about sales-free selling, Gary Johnson about converting more of your consultations, and even Saja Rayouf talking about introversion as her superpower. At times, you're going to think I'm talking about sales, but I'm really talking marketing. Marketing is the setup, the foundation for everything they talked about. There's no need to take notes because I will have a link to a summary, and I'm offering valuable bonus content that you won't want to miss. So let's dive in. Typically, 80% of your profit comes from the top 20% of your clients. These are the clients that say things like, you get me. They follow your recommendations. They bring out the best in you. These are your version of my dog owners. Meanwhile, the bottom 20% of your clients push back on your fees, or worse yet, your invoices. They tell you how to practice law. And these are the ones that call at 5:30 on Friday afternoon, expecting you to spend all weekend on something that isn't even urgent. In my newspaper days, these were the people who expected special service, but were always slow to pay. So are you catching on? While the top 20% of your clients generate 80% of your profit, 80% of your headaches are caused by the bottom 20%. Who you work with makes a huge difference in the success of your firm and the quality of your life. Earning more doesn't require more stress and strain. It just requires that you work with more of your best clients. I know you want more best clients and fewer bottom clients, but firing your bottom clients doesn't work unless you change how you get clients. Otherwise, you just replace the old bottom clients with new bottom clients. That describes a lot of well-intentioned marketing, maybe yours. That's what happens when you fish for clients with a net instead of throwing spears. Now, this isn't wishful thinking. You already have some of these clients. Let me help you get more of them. Let's talk about how this relates to practicing law. Carrie was in a profession, your profession, where 78% of you find business development stressful. 76% of lawyers are strained by meeting client expectations. And according to the American Bar Association, each year, the average lawyer invoices more than 7 weeks of work that is never collected. Mark was getting more competitive. Every time Kerry lost to some upstart firm, it was like a punch in the face. He buckled down and he invested in marketing to highlight his firm's vast knowledge and expertise. That was 2 years ago. Those punches, they kept coming. How can these upstarts keep winning? We're the experts. You could look at Kerry and see his passion slipping away. I've seen this scenario so many times. Kerry and others, maybe you fall into a trap. Now, before I can show you how to escape the trap, you need to recognize the trap. So first, let's look at why clients hire you. Most lawyers do good work. Others provide knowledge and expertise, and a handful provide guidance and decision-making. Let's call these cogs, experts, and advisors. When you're a cog, your work is directed by others. When you're an expert, use your knowledge and expertise to provide answers. And when you're an advisor, you guide the questions that are being asked. The next level is interesting too. Cogs and experts are reactive. The client directs your work. Advisors, by contrast, are proactive. They are part of the process. COGS and experts generate information so others can make a decision. Advisors are part of the decision. Next, and roles get paid. That's your price. You're a commodity. It's totally different for advisors. The advisor's value is based on your impact, how you improve your client's business. If you're confident I will double your profit, how much are you willing to pay me? You put it in the chat if you want. If I can double your profit, how much will you pay me? Yeah, I'm willing to pay you a lot. So your best clients are no different. They're not only willing, but happy to pay you to improve their business. You just need to frame your work so clients see your impact. Now, did you notice one other thing I did? Yeah, if you're paying attention, I skipped experts. You see, a lot of people do that. You see, they don't understand why experts are rewarded with clients who drag out the buying process, then haggle about the price, and then aren't loyal. I've seen this problem so often, I've given it a name, the expert trap. Now, there's nothing wrong with being an expert. The problem is selling like an expert. Perhaps this is familiar. Maybe you've seen this before. You tell me all the reasons I should buy from you. And if I show the slightest interest, you launch into telling me more and more and more reasons. Pretty soon I'm overwhelmed. It's too much to think about. So I step back and I look at my options, all my options. At this point, there's only bad things that can happen. Bad things that cost you money, lost clients, and frustration. Now, I still might hire you, but having looked around, I'm fee sensitive. You might lose me to a competitor, maybe someone I hadn't even considered initially. Ouch. Most of the time, I just throw my hands up and I do nothing. You see, change is hard. Make it complicated and confusing. It's just not worth it. Now, as experts, of course, you don't see it that way at all. You tell yourself, I did everything humanly possible. It just didn't work out. Bad luck. Truth is, you snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Now, lawyers are especially vulnerable to the expert trap because you have a lot of specialized knowledge and you spent years in school gaining credentials. The expert trap is also challenging because it's more than one trap. The visible part of the expert trap is selling like an expert, bombarding your client with too much information that often isn't very relevant. The expert trap also creates the value trap. The value trap happens when you undermine your own value. This is most painful when advisors position and sell themselves as experts. You do the work of advisors, but you get rewarded as experts. Do you remember how advisors are valued? Advisors provide guidance. You are valued on your impact on the client's business, not your effort or credentials. By contrast, experts answer questions. Experts are valued on their ability to answer those questions, maybe their time. The third component is the clarity trap. Being fuzzy about your value is a silent killer. Here's an example from a workshop I gave last month. Imagine yourself at a networking meeting when this guy stands up. I got to actually read this to get it right. So, my name is Mike Richards. I am a business attorney at Blather & Boggs. I changed a few names here. A mid-sized firm based in Silicon Valley, working with emerging and mature companies, typically up to 200 million in revenue. Early stage companies are in my blood. I have taught startup law at Santa Clara University's law school, and I founded a venture-backed health products company, as well as serving as an NYSE company SVP and general counsel. Yes, I have practiced for 30 years in corporate law, but more importantly, I have been in the shoes of your client, and I can bring my skills to their M&A, tech transactions, intellectual property, and general business matters. So what do you think of that? It's close to 40 seconds. How much do you remember? How much do you remember tomorrow? Next week? Next month? If you're not a transaction attorney, do you even know what Mike does? Now compare that to what we workshopped in 2 minutes. No polishing, no refining. I'm Mike Richards. My corporate clients value my legal guidance regarding transactions and business, general business matters, because I've stood in their shoes. I know their issues because I was a general counsel for a public company. Just over 10 seconds. Mike draws you into asking additional questions to allow him to tailor his responses so you see him as just the person you were looking for. So how do you know you've fallen into the expert trap? Well, you look for the trap. Your client relationships are transactional. Clients see you as reactive. Your expertise becomes an anchor, and clients are willing to challenge and push back on price. Those are all the signs. Now let's switch over to some good news, because I got good news. I can help you escape the expert trap. You see, it's not a sales problem, and you don't have to change how you work. You only have to change how you position your work. Now, escaping the expert trap, even if you didn't know you were trapped, will change your worldview. When I sprung Kerry from the expert trap, his firm became a rocket. He says it better than I can. He told his managing partner peer group, I'm taking 75% larger distributions this year. I look forward to each and every client. I always talked about referrals. Now I'm seeing a level and quality I never imagined before. And most importantly, our firm's work is 100% collectible. Now, Kerry's transformation started with an insight. I pointed out to Kerry that every client either drains his energy or makes him feel energized. Just as one great employee is worth 3 ordinary employees, one great client is worth 3 ordinary clients. Kerry calls this the insight that changed my life. Your best clients are so much better. I'm going to keep hammering this. They buy faster, they pay more, they make more referrals. But they also bring you better projects. They act on your recommendations and advice. This sets you up to do your best work, and it makes these clients fun and profitable. Are you starting to see how important which clients you work with are to your success? Now, many law firm owners struggle because your best clients are specific to you, your firm, the situation. I got to know the neighborhood dogs on my paper route so well because it was a circular neighborhood a mile from my house. So I sat out every afternoon folding newspapers while my customers walked their dogs past me. So where do you start? Let's talk action steps you can take to escape the expert trap and improve your business. Now, remember, I'll give you a download link to notes and some valuable bonus content. Now, I'm going to talk mostly about advisors, but if you're an expert, you'll want to check out the bonus content. And if you need more help or just want to go faster, I can help. I do have a special offer for conference attendees. Okay, action step number 1, focus on your best clients. You can't build your business around your best clients until you know who they are. So who are your best clients? Sanjay owns a 4-lawyer boutique serving mid-sized businesses. During our first meeting, I asked him, which of your clients do you want to clone? Sanjay was silent for what seemed like forever. Finally, his eyes went wide, and he told me about this other consultant. He and this very expensive consultant, that's Sanjay's description, spent an entire day reviewing each of his firm's clients, one by one by one, ranking them on 7 separate criteria. Sanjay just threw his hands up, and he goes, you accomplished that with one question. You can do the math, but you don't have to. Just ask the question. Now, knowing who your best clients are isn't hard. The money part is understanding why those clients select you. To understand why your best clients select you, you've got to understand how they see you. Are you a cog, an expert, or an advisor? And I hear this all the time, but Bruce, sometimes I'm an expert and sometimes I'm an advisor. Depends on the client. That's probably true for most of you. It's typical, but it's holding you back. For your best clients, your role is clear. That's what makes your relationship so special. You got to be honest about your role as your clients see you. If your best clients are looking for answers, they see you as an expert. Embrace that. Remember, the expert trap is about selling like a typical expert. If your best clients are looking for guidance, they see you as an advisor. If you get your wires crossed, you might do good work, but you'll never have a great relationship. That client will never be worth 3x your ordinary clients. And you'll struggle with long sales cycles, fee pressure, and fewer referrals. Just as cogs have a different relationship than experts, Experts have a different relationship than advisors. Action step number 2 is to be clear about your offer. Think about your offer in terms of what the client is trying to accomplish rather than the individual task you will perform to get there. This may or may not mean you do fewer things. Most trademark attorneys tell you all the things they do: conduct a trademark search, advise on potential marks, file with the USPTO, respond to office actions, enforce the trademark. Clients don't see this as 5 different things. Clients see it as protecting our brand. See your firm the way your clients see it. They have an easier time connecting with how you improve their business. Action step number 3 is become a magnet for your best clients. You need to take your audience and your offer and connect it with why your best clients hire you. Remember Mike, the business transactions attorney? His marketing, his website, his LinkedIn were as scattered and as fuzzy as his introduction. When I talked to him after the workshop, it was clear he was stepped into the expert trap and it was limiting his success. Mike took advantage of the same offer I'm going to make you. We got clarity around his target audience and offer. I stopped him from talking about all the stuff he does in favor of highlighting who his best clients are, how he improves their business, and why they select him. Mike's marketing and business development is now laser focused. He's seeing great results. So why each of these actions is straightforward, none is a simple template. So here's the pro tip. Think like your best clients. Think like your best clients connects all 3 action steps. It's more than just thinking about your clients. It's more than just caring about them. It is seeing your firm the way your best clients see you. Do this and the world looks really different. Things you didn't understand or had to guess about now become clear. Thinking like your best clients allows you to position yourself so that you attract more of your best clients. Changes how you generate business, how you describe your value, how people refer you to others. Changes how you think about your firm. When you think like your best clients, you will never fall into the expert trap. You'll be like Kerry. His clients are buying faster. Avoiding the expert trap makes the decision easier for clients. Or as he says, easier is faster. He's also getting paid more. Avoiding the expert trap keeps Kerry focused on how he improves his client's business, rather than detailing all the individual legal work that he has to do to get there. When we talk about impact, clients pay us more and are happier. And Kerry is getting more referrals. Avoiding the expert trap keeps Kerry clear about why he gets hired. Kerry is very clear about who his best clients are and why they hire him. He makes it clear to his referral partners. Kerry says being specific generates more and better referrals. So clients who buy faster, pay more, and make more referrals were each small steps for Kerry, but a huge leap for his law firm. Okay, kind of cheesy there. But let's pause here for a minute. And I want to ask, does this resonate with you? Have you learned something? Let me know. The best way for me to know is that I'm resonating is for you to give me feedback. So before I take some questions, scan this QR code with your phone or take a picture and use the link. Now, I know Alay is also gathering feedback for all the speakers. Please, please give the speakers feedback. But this comes directly to me, and it means a lot to me. The bonus content is my thank you. This includes a summary of the expert trap, a bonus action step, and more detail about how advisors and especially experts can escape the expert trap. So while you're busy, I'm going to take a minute and catch up on the chat and questions. When you finish, type done in the chat, and I'll be back in just a minute here.
Hey, Bruce, thanks for doing this. This is awesome.
So yeah, we'll still do questions. So I just want to have people scan this and do this, and this is a great way to get the download. And I will actually give them some cool jazz for a minute or so here. Let's
all right. Please type your questions in for Bruce into the chat box. Bruce, I want to, I don't know if you remember, but way back when you actually did some work for me and my business when we were looking at group coaching versus one-on-one coaching. And I found that to be instrumental in actually deciding to not do group coaching and to just focus right back on one-on-one coaching. And it was transformative because I realized that was really where I had to make an impact, and it helped me scale my organization in a completely different way. When you conduct client interviews, how do you do those?
So there's a couple things. I just want to make a comment on you. It's not that you did something entirely different. You thought you were going one direction, but where you really were making an impact was somewhere else. And that's what came out of the interviews. So it wasn't that you had to make up something different. It was like, oh, wow, this is what's really important to people. And so you understood what they were doing. So what I do is I talk to um, my clients' best clients, the ones that they want to clone. I don't want to talk to everyone, just the ones that they get a rush out of, that they know there's something special, but they may not know what. And deepen that conversation. And I sometimes, well, I talked to another marketing person last week, and they were saying, "Oh, we do customer interviews too." And I say, "So, well, tell me about yours." It's like, "Well, people are really busy. We've got maybe 10 minutes." And I go, "Well, who you talking to?" "Well, the marketing person, or if we can get a VP, that's great." I say, "Well, I'm talking to the CEO for an hour." And they go, "How do you do that?" I go, "Maybe we're not doing the same thing." And so it's a level where we can peel the onion back to where because they don't think about this either. And it starts to say, "Hey, there's this thing that LA does that I never really thought about, but if he were to do something different, that would be a totally different relationship." That's where the magic is. And I'm just bottling magic. I'm not making magic. I'm just bottling it, but it's hard to find.
And when you have talked to lawyers, you just went through the expert trap about some things that you have seen. Um, but it seems to me that a lot of lawyers maybe think less of themselves than their clients do. Their clients think very highly of them, and at least the ones that you're talking with. What are some of the things that come out where you find that a lot of attorneys tend to undervalue or downplay or, just kind of underestimate themselves and the services they provide?
Well, I'll answer it a little bit differently. I think the thing that they miss on the biggest is that they think it's the task, it's the stuff they do as opposed to the relationship. They undervalue the relationship. And so my clients, you cut across, I've had plenty of clients that do not have imposter syndrome, but they think it's very logical. It's the task they do. It's their credentials. Well, credentials provide credibility, but credibility is really valuable after someone trusts you. If you try to do it before they trust you, now you're running this long process where developing trust takes a long time. If you can align with their goals, they will say, "Hey, I want to work with you, but I got to be logical. Have you ever done this before?" And so the credibility step becomes very focused as opposed to throw out all that. That's the expert trap. Throw out all this stuff, hoping something sticks. And think about it from your own perspective, anyone that's listening. If someone were to ask you one or two credibility questions that were very tailored and you could nail those, how fast does the process go versus you trying to throw stuff on the wall, hoping something sticks? And then they step back because, oh man, I didn't realize it was so complicated.
The other side of that I really appreciate is it helps us, right? Like once we know who our ideal clients are, now we can target those clients. And it impacts our website, it impacts our branding, it impacts our marketing. And when we're doing the consultation, we can really easily figure out, is this going to be a good fit for me or not?
Yeah, because you want to figure that out early. So I'm going to say one thing is I never talk about ideal clients because that's your perspective. That's my ideal client is who I want to work with. Let's turn that around. So I always ask, for whom are you the ideal provider? Now the Venn diagrams overlap pretty heavily, but if you think about it from their perspective as to am I their ideal provider, and I frame everything that way, how much faster does this process go?
So we're going to do a quick test here, Bruce. Who is your ideal or target client? Who's a
So that
great
the
client for
clients
you?
I have the best results with are usually pretty established professionals. That doesn't mean they're huge or whatnot, but they know what they're doing. They're not just starting out. Um, they have a problem because usually they're experts and they have been told that credentials and all the things they do, and let's map out the process for you. And that scares people away because what they really do with their best clients is they provide guidance and advice. And so they end up underselling their own capabilities. They end up complicating the whole process. I mean, this is where the expert trap came from, because I kept seeing it over and over again with my clients. And so in order to get there, they've got to have some vision for where they want to take their firm. They've got to be, they've got to be that this is a business, not just a practice.
Sure.
This is a business. So this is a great overlap with people that you're working with or people that graduate from you. But the vision doesn't have to be lofty. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be something more than, I just want more billable hours. I'm doing something. I actually care about my clients. I'm improving their situation.
Awesome. Bruce, as we're wrapping this up, what do you want to share with our audience?
So I want 90 seconds, which I think we still have according to my timer here, to let me wrap up. And so let's finish it on a strong note. And let's go back and I want to share one more story, because, and this will tell you why my slides were a little bit late on Monday, because as I was finishing up my slides, Kerry called and he wanted to share his latest story. So I told him the dog story that, I've just told you. And he said, Bruce, you've transformed what it means to work like a dog. Escaping the expert trap so we work with more best clients is like getting a belly rub. But he also went on and he got serious, and he said, it's changed how we see our firm. We have a much better understanding of the relationship we have with our clients. It's changed who we work with. Working with only our best clients matters, because most client headaches end up on my desk. It's changed our business development process. It's much shorter, much better focused. It works, and we know why. Now, Kerry works really hard, but because he focuses on his best clients, he's accomplished yesterday's goal of growing his income, and he's accomplished tomorrow's goal of less stress. Now, that's not to steal thunder from the rest of today or tomorrow. Please join in the sessions. You'll learn a lot. But it reinforces how much the 3 days are all interconnected. At the center of more income and less stress are better clients. Now, these days, you don't have to be around Kerry very long to see his passion is back. And I invite each and every one of you to be the next Kerry. The first step is to download the bonus content in your special offer. And remember, there's no trade-off. More best clients leads directly to more income and less stress.